Hey everybody, this is an excerpt from a Afrocentric book. It says, Black Women in Politics. Election year 1992 was widely described by political observers as the year of women. Thousands of women of all races and ethnicities ran for elective office for the first time. The number of women in the U.S. House of Representatives increased from 29 to 47, and in the U.S. Senate from 2 to 6. Women gave Clinton 46 of their votes, providing a major share of his electoral victory. The gender gap also existed within the black electorate. According to the exit polling data, 86% of all African American female voters chose Bill Clinton compared to only 77% of the black male voters. And in a new influx of African American women entered the Congress, including Eddie Bernice Johnson of Texas, 56 years old, a businesswoman with prior political experience in the state House and state Senate. Cynthia McKinney of Georgia, a 37-year-old college instructor who had served in the Georgia state legislation. Educator Corrina Braun of Florida, 45 years old, who had served in the state house, and businesswoman Eva Clayton of North Carolina, 58 years old, with prior political services as a county commissioner. But the year's biggest story was the victory of 45-year-old attorney Carol Moseley, Braun, an Illinois Democrat elected to the U.S. Senate. Moseley Braun became the first African American elected to the Senate in nearly 2 decades, and the first black woman to serve in the Senate in U.S. history. This increase in women's political power encountered strong resistance and criticism from the media and other quarters. Women's groups were harshly criticized as being counters by President-elect Bill Clinton when, during the transition period, they demanded a greater share of his administrative appointments. That's very interesting, especially at the upper levels. So these women were basically wanting to share. I'm going to read that. They wanted a share of the administrative appointments. Isn't that interesting? Especially at the upper levels. We don't even have that right now. There is no black women up there, or men. There's one, and that's the Surgeon General. Other than that, you can forget it. And that's a guy. Let me read on. More serious was the barrage of criticism aimed at Carol Moseley Braun. The criticisms ranged from her personal behavior to political decision-making. Critics noted that Moseley Braun has sold her modest South Side home in Chicago, moving into a $3,300 a month penthouse apartment, while members of her campaign staff had not yet received paychecks. She vacationed with campaigner, manager, and boyfriend Kagosi Matthews, who had been paid $15,000 per month during the campaign, and who has accused of sexual harassment by several women working for Moseley Braun, while key staff positions had gone unfilled throughout December. Her remaining staff, according to the press reports, was busy planning lavish parties for her swearing in. The Chicago Sun-Times editorial, "Where is Carol Moseley Braun?" Moseley Braun's conspicuous absence during a vital transition period, her unavailability to answer questions or to detail plans raises questions among her most ardent supporters about her dedication to the job. Although Moseley Braun campaigned for high office, attacking the Senate Judiciary Committee, handling of Anita Hill, allegations during Clarence Thomas confirmation hearings, she curiously expressed no interest in serving on this vital Senate committee. Another prominent African American woman under press attack following the election was Johnnetta B Cole, president of Spelman College, who has served as head of the Clinton transition team on education, labor, and the arts of humanities. Dr. Cole is perhaps Black America's most prominent and successful leader in the field of higher education, but when Dr. Cole was rumored to be under consideration as a candidate for Secretary of Education, she came under furious assault and McCarthyist criticism from several quarters. The Jewish publication Forward attacked Dr. Cole for being favorable to Fidel Castro for her work. Years ago, as a member of the National Committee of the then Ceremais Brigades, a group sponsoring friendship trips to Cuba. Dr. Cole was also accused of being a pro-Palestinian. Within days, CNN and New York Times and the Washington Post and other publications were running similar stories. The assault was so distorted and vicious that even Black moderate journalist Carol Rowan, a strong anti-communist himself, came to her defense. What the attacks on Dr. Cole and Senator Moseley Braun had in common was that they were directed at prominent, dedicated, and articulate African American women who were climbing in positions of power. Moseley Braun's errors of judgment are indeed minor compared to the sad and sorry public and private records of many white male senators. Moseley, Braun, and Cole were attacked primarily for racial and gender reasons. Make no mistake about it. And the real tragedy is that the majority of the African American public leaders, politicians, and educators stood by silently while these gifted, hard-working women are being vilified by the white media and white officials. We need to understand that the empowerment of African American people requires the support and defense of strong Black women. So I hope you enjoyed that little excerpt, and there'll be more like this to come. I think that we need to stand strong, stay together, and support one another regardless of the stupid allegations that come our way. Peace.